ask you, let me quick ask you a question on that, because that is, Holly, when you look at that, how do you say, like, only a small portion of the population votes? And do you think that people actually vote for anybody anymore, or do you just think they vote against somebody?
Well,
That's where I think the difference is now.
I mean, look, I think, and we're right in the middle of this. Um,
Right.
the fact that we hear all the time, how could it be in this great nation that we will potentially, very likely, be faced with a redo of 2020? How can that be? And the answer is, as we are fighting on the front lines every single day, the establishment on both sides are doing everything in their power to stop us, to eliminate the competition, to, eliminate a perceived threat. The other thing that I really love about your partnership, and people misunderstand this about, our politics. We're not saying everybody has to view the world the exact same way, and everybody has to all agree on every issue. In fact, it's the exact opposite. We're saying people come to any given situation with different experiences, different perspectives, different ideas.
Right.
That is how the whole country was founded. How do we find the common ground so we can govern ourselves? Right?
Well,
I
have you
can
ever, Holly, have you ever thought that
exactly.
this is a country that's built on common sense?
Yes,
And people
exactly
don't
what we
even
call it.
realize it.
Yeah,
Have you ever,
yes, literally. Yeah. When we call our voters the common sense majority, who
Right.
have been weeded out of the political target audience for a lot of the for national politicians, and frankly, I think national media, people who don't want to,
the media is going to be your worst enemy. The media will not, the media will not show you attention unless you have money money in the game.
yeah.
You have to have a different thing, because people don't realize media runs everything. If you look at Florida, it's the easiest way I can express it. Who owns Universal, right? You go to a theme park, it's owned
The
by
Ricketts.
NBC. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if you go over to
Yes.
Disney, there's ABC. Listen,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
well, everything you do, the media owns it, because they're the only ones. Every year, every 2 years, they suck every single political dollar that they possibly can, and they tell you it's your fault. It's the government's fault. It's their fault that they're spending all your money. And the reason they're spending it is, like, they don't care if corporations are involved, but they're going to say it because they want to say it. But they know that that's their money's coming right back to them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let our media fool you.
Right.
Our,
And
our
that's why,
biggest
Joe.
enemy is the media right now.
Right. And that's why, Joe, we emphasize often, do your own damn research.
Exactly. That's exactly my point, David, of you cannot outsource the responsibilities of citizenship. As
That's correct.
there's no other solution than to be involved.
Oh, is it okay if I add
Howie,
something? I didn't know if I could speak, but
No,
no.
you're more than
Yes.
welcome.
We
This
were
is
saying, I
this
looked at
is
Sal, I could just hear, but we were saying about media,
awesome.
which is, I still consider myself a younger voter, even though I'm in my mid-30s, but, as
You are a
someone
young
who
voter.
is educated, but, not very involved, or, I feel the media really dissuaded me. I didn't realize I was a moderate because I was just like, this makes no sense. But, honestly, I did not have the time to invest myself, do your own research. And, I think that is really powerful, and those people that I think that I'm part of a very large group of, people that don't live and breathe politics. And, even people
Sure.
like me know it's not working. So, yeah.
It's that moment of clarity when I do my own research, and from the moment I'm up, I'm looking at the news, I'm looking at my different sources and sharing it with my team. And there are those moments of clarity and that I get it moments. And at times it's frustrating because some of those trusted sources are not so trusted anymore.
We've seen
And
that firsthand in our story. And honestly, if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would have been I would have
Mhm.
never believed it. But I just want to clarify one thing. My statement about politicians not being able to save us, I believe that's true. But I also understand that for 99.9% of Americans, they have got to see the personification of a politics before they can understand it. So our expectation isn't that people will get in the weeds and really, understand all the nuances of no labels. But it's that enough of us, enough people in communities all over the country will come together and just force a little break in the wall. And then a politician can come and people, like Amanda, who wasn't studying politics, who wasn't, really interested in it, can see it reflected in a person. That's essential. It just can't start there. And I think a lot of voters, want to be saved, want to take the easy way out, and are just waiting for that.
Right.
Yep.
And to speak to that, we recently had as recent as last night, had the special election for House District
I
35.
saw that. Yeah.
Yes, and
Well, did you
many
look at the
people.
numbers?
Well,
This
I
is
quickly glanced at how surprising a victory it was.
It was a surprising victory for the Democrats, and
Mhm.
we were involved in that race with another candidate, and also the year before. So we're intimately familiar with the candidates, the issues, and so forth and so on. But what was very peculiar, what people are talking about or should be talking about, and this is pertinent to no labels, is the fact that it wasn't really the Democrats who led the vote for Tom Keene, and congratulations to Tom Keene. It was the non-party affiliated voters, the NPAs, who voted surprisingly 70 to 30% in favor of the Democratic candidate. And that is just blowing minds.
Mhm.
And it shows, even despite overall it was a 20% turnout, it just shows that there is a hunger for those who are not affiliated with the Democrats nor the Republicans who want to be engaged and will vote on the message, or as we like to say, their kitchen table issues. Something resonated.
20% in a special election, though, that's pretty good.
That is
Yeah,
good.
I'd be interested in
it's
another
3% better.
conversation why you think that was so high, actually.
Well,
I think
the
you look at the MPAs. If you look at the
Mhm.
MPAs, typically they vote very low in a special election.
Yeah.
They came out higher numbers. They leaned left instead of right, which is typically where they would in a special election go. So I don't think it was issue based. It was the Democrats did focus on abortion as an issue.
Yeah.
But I think also that the Republican Party here in Florida, they had Ziegler going out because of menage a trois, and they
Yes.
had Powers coming in. They had
You can't
Powers
make
coming
this
in.
you can't
You
make this
can't make this shit up.
Yeah,
No,
you can't make it
no,
up. There you go.
listen. I say keep him. I mean, at least you know
Yeah.
what he's doing, right? No, I'm a bad person. Look, Ziegler's a great friend. I feel bad for him. I hope he didn't do whatever the crime is. He
Yeah.
hasn't been charged, but he's been thrown
Alleged.
out. So
Yeah, alleged.
now,
Thank you, Holly. We know that your time and Amanda's time is very precious. We respect the fact that you took this time to spend with us and tell us more about yourself and no labels. We really appreciate it. Amanda, thank you for bringing it all together. In closing, for our listeners and viewers,
Yeah.
Holly, is there more words of inspiration you can give to our community?
So two things that I like to call on for myself. One is I took Latin in high school, and I really don't
sorry.
remember much because my teacher was Italian, so he'd be lecturing and then he'd be like, no, that was Italian, never mind. So, but I do remember Libertas, the Roman goddess of liberty. And libertas in Latin means freedom to choose.
Yeah.
Okay. So anybody working against an American's right to have choices about who represents them is defying the very essence of freedom. And none of us should stand for that. That is one thing. And then to go back even a little further, maybe the same time, I don't know, because I'm not great at history. Plato said, engage in politics or be governed by those who do.
That's right.
And guess what,
That
people?
makes
We're being
sense.
governed by those who do. So we better all get into it.
Amen.
We got Amanda going in it. She's, you know, she's not loving politics, but she feels called and compelled and is one of our greatest ambassadors for No Labels.
Toughest job I've ever.
Excellent. Amanda,
No.
you're Gen Z, I presume, correct?
Millennial. Yeah.
Okay, millennial.
millennial.
Okay.
She said she was in her 30s. So
89.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for someone of your generation, and your experience now with No Labels, what can you impart to our audience, especially, our younger listeners and viewers?
I would say don't give up on politics. We're getting to the point where we see more and more how much it governs our daily lives, and it's time to do something about it. We haven't had the best examples in Washington in our adult lifetime, and this is the one thing that makes sense to me. And if you feel like me, not really on either side and kind of lost in so many ways other than politics, yeah, definitely, shoot me an email, check us out, like Holly said, and I think that's important.
Great. Thank you, Amanda.
Awesome.
Let
Well, I
me
do
just
have.
say, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
No, no.
I was just going to make sure that I asked this question, so I have it online. When are we going to have you back, Holly? Because we would
That's
love to
just
have you. We'd love to have you on our StreamYard. So
Anytime you
uh,
guys tell me, we'll work it out with
so
Amanda.
we
Yeah, happy to do
we
it.
really want to have you back. We really want to have you back. You blew all my questions away because you said very clearly that you were not a party, and
Yeah.
we live in the party environment, so
I
we know the structure of it. So now I have to come back with all these new questions, and I'm excited. So I just want to make sure that you're aware that we want to have you back. We're going to spread the word
I appreciate that.
so that that we're innovating, and David will host whatever show you guys come up with. We can kick C-SPAN to the curb after that. So,
Hey, I love
but no,
C-SPAN.
yeah, but I really, final thoughts. We love to do final thoughts. So each one, my final thought is exactly that. You've blown my mind. You've opened my eyes. I just absolutely think that our viewers would get so much from this
Yes.
episode that we need to do our best to let people know what's going on out there.
Right. And my final word on this, my final thoughts is that there's so much opportunity, but so little time to take to learn more about what Amanda and what Holly had told us. And I'm just hoping that people will take the time to do their research and to exercise their civic duty and engage and learn, educate. So again, we really appreciate it. Hopefully at the latest, right after Super Tuesday, we could get together again and continue this conversation.
I want their final thoughts too, David.
I'm sorry.
Amanda, you go. What's your final thought?
My final thought is you can have a larger impact than you think.
True.
And my final thought is, and I keep learning that this year, there's no substitute for showing up, right? Like you all have read about No Labels, and heard about it, but it really does require us showing up, being present, answering tough questions. We welcome that anywhere we go. And so it just encourages and inspires us to keep having these conversations. And we're grateful to you both for giving us this platform, and we'll come back anytime you'll have us.
We appreciate it.
Listeners, make sure that you like, make sure that you share, make sure you subscribe, make sure that you're part of the conversation and do your research. Thank you very much. And this is another episode of You Can't Make This Shit Up. There's another
You
party
can't
out there.
make
You
this
can't
up,
make
let
this
me tell
shit
you.
up.
Yeah.
So we're happy about that, and just keep up the good work out there,
Thank
and
you.
we could talk all day, but you have
Yeah.
a life to live, and hey, I'm going to email you because I want to hear your comments. Please read the article. I
I
just
will.
I just posted it.
Okay.
Maybe you have some thoughts on it, and maybe we can improve it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the work you're doing and for this dialogue. I think it's really important, actually.
Thank you.
You know,
We
I'm not good on
appreciate
television.
it.
You are, but I mean, when you got it, you got it.
He's
You just
he's
got
the
to acknowledge
classic.
it. Exactly.
He's the class.
Yeah. Yeah.